Hey everyone, doing fine I hope. Now then, how to play the solo to Limelight by Alex Lifeson and Rush correctly. Here on day 14 of 30 Days of Lurks here on my channel. So then, judging by the title of this video, you might be asking just what the hell I'm on about here. Well, I'm going to tell you. After I sat down to learn this solo by ear a couple of weeks ago for this project, I then pulled up the video by the man himself on YouTube on just how to play the solo to Limelight, just to make sure that I learned everything correctly. And as I'm going along with Alex's tutorial with well over 1 million views, I'm thinking to myself on more than one occasion, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right either. So I go back and listen to the studio version a number of times just to double check my ears. And sure enough, I was correct. It wasn't right. Now, Alex has every right in the world to change up his own guitar solos as he sees fit, of course. And live, he does play this solo with 1 or 2 of these changes that he teaches in his tutorial. But know that his video tutorial on YouTube for the Limelight guitar solo is not the same as the studio version. Now, I'm sure that Alex has better things to do with his time than to sit down and do in-depth tutorials for YouTube for his guitar solos, so I'm not going to fault him too much here. However, what I am going to do is I'm going to show you today just how it is played note for note with the studio version. And as we go along, I'll also point out where Alex erred in his ways and change things up a little bit in his tutorial. So let's close in here and get started. But one final thing before we do that I want to mention, I've got all effects on for this tutorial: chorus, delay, reverb, lots of gain, and as it's all pretty much essential in trying to capture the tone and feel of this one. However, all of it together creates a little bit of noise, so I hope it's not overly distracting as we go along. Regardless, let's close in, have a look at how to play the solo to Limelight. Alright then, the solo to Limelight by Alex Lifeson. I'm going to show you guys how to play it note for note along with the studio version, unlike what Alex does in his video, which is on YouTube, which he changes things around from the studio version, and he has every right in the world to do that because it's his guitar solo. But if you want to learn the studio version of Limelight, and you go to Alex Lifeson's video that's on YouTube with 1.3 million views, you're not going to learn it correctly. And this is how it's done. We're working in the key of A flat, which is kind of odd, but we're coming out of this chord, which is kind of this A flat sus chord. You know, we're barring the full 4th fret. We have our ring finger on the 6 of the A string and our pinky down here on 6 of the G, and we're just hammering on that chord. And then you're going to hit the open B string, give it a little bit of light whammy bar vibrato, and then you're going to grab a harmonic at the 12th fret and dive bomb it. Now, here's where Alex changes things up in his tutorial. He comes from this dive bomb of the harmonic. He kind of just slides, this is the way he teaches it, just slide into 4 of the D string. That's not what he's doing in the studio. He's doing something a little craftier than that. And I tried, you know, multiple ways to get the same effect that he has on the studio version by going to this 4th fret of the D string and not having any luck really whatsoever from the harmonic. That's one way. You know, with the bar depressed from the harmonic, grab that 4 and then just raise the note, right? And then give a little bit of light vibrato with the bar. That's one way, and that's close, but that's not what I think he's doing in the studio. Here's what I think what he did in the studio. Sorry, I got a little bit of extraneous noise there. I think he's going to the 2nd fret from the harmonic and doing that. He's the bar is depressed. He's grabbing the 2nd fret because I can really hear that note in there. And you're not going to get that note if you're up here on the 4. And then he's taking the bar, pulling it up past the natural note there at the 2nd, up to that note at the 4. And then giving it upwards vibrato with the bar. You need a floating tremolo in order to do this, of course, because you need to be able to pull up on the bar a full pitch. So that's kind of the effect, right? So that's very close to the studio version right there. So grabbing the 2nd fret with the bar depressed and then pulling it up another full step and giving it upwards vibrato. So that's the opening. Now here's where Alex also changes things up in his tutorial. These little slides here, he's sliding into 6 of the D, 6 of the A, sliding in and out of them. That kind of feel, right? In, and then finally sliding into 4, the root note of what we're soloing in, the A flat on the low E. So 6, 6, 6. Now that is incorrect. He does do this live, so it's not, 100% incorrect, but it's not the studio version. He's actually going to the 4th fret of the A string on the studio version. So we're sliding in and out of D string, A string, E string, 6, 4, 4. Right? That's what's on the studio version. So when he went to this 6 on the A string, when I was learning it, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But I watched him play it live a couple of times, and he does go to that 6. But when I listen to the studio version, there's no bloody way he's going to that 6 on the A string. He's definitely going to the 4. Now, into the next section. So now we're jumping up here to the 11th fret of the G string. We're going to hit it twice, and then we're going to hit it twice again before continuing on. And then we're going to go with 12 of the B, 14 of the high E. So from the beginning. So that's where we left off. Now we're going to do that one more time. And then off to 11 of the B string. And then we're going to grab 14 of the B and then 13 of the G string. Now, when you're playing this little section here, any of these notes that you're sitting on for any length of time whatsoever, you're giving a little bit of whammy bar vibrato to them. Anyone that you're on for any length of time whatsoever, you're giving a little bit of whammy bar. Right? And then we're into this. So that little section there. So we're down here on the 11th fret of the high E. And then we're going 12, 11 of the B, and then grabbing the 14, of the high E. And we're going to repeat that twice. Except we're going to start it back off again with 11, 12 of the B. And then one final 11, 12 of the B down to the 11 of the high E. And then finally drop onto the 14 there of the B string. So that whole little section. Now we've ended up on the 14 of the B there, and then we finish up with this. So we're grabbing the 13 of the G, down to the 11 of the B, roll up to the 11 of the G string, pull off 13 off to 11 back onto 13, and then dive bomb it. And now when you're dive bombing that 13, you're going to pull off to the open string with the bar depressed, and then raise the note back up again before moving into the next higher note. Kind of like that, right? So dive bomb, pull off, raise the note, and while you're raising the note, you're going to grab the 17 of the high E for a full step bend. Right? And so now we're up here on the 17 for a full step bend. Now we're going to go off to 14 and then drop on to 16 for another full step bend. Right? Alex teaches this differently. He says you're going up a half step there, and you're not. You're going up a full step. And now we're into the scale run, the little scale run. Right? Alex teaches the scale run incorrectly as well. Now, here's what he's doing. And he's not even in the scale. We're working in the A flat minor, natural minor scale, and which makes total sense with, if you're playing it correctly. Now the scale run. Right, that's the correct way to play it. So it's 14, 16, 8, 14, 16, 18. You're going to do that twice. Then you're going to move up to 16, 18, 19. Do that one twice, and then you're going to move up to 18, 19, 21. And then jumping onto a full step bend there. So the scale run. Full step bend, and then you just keep on rebending that note, right? So, where are we? Now, what Alex is doing in his tutorial, he starts it off the same way, correctly. Bend there on 17, full step, up to a note within the A flat natural minor. Off to 14, jump onto 16, full step, not a half step. Now, here's what he does. That sounds very odd, and it doesn't really work. He's going 14, 16, 17, and then he's going 16, 17, 19, and then he's going 17, 19, 21, and then going into the bend. That is not the studio version at all. Studio version, 14, 16, 18. Move it up to 16, 18, 19, 18, 19, 21, into the full step bend. And that's the studio version. So that's pretty much the solo note for note. So let's run through the whole thing nice and slow, and then we'll be done. Sorry, I got a little bit of noise going on here. I apologize for that. So we're coming out of that chord. And that, my friends, is how you play the solo to Limelight, note for note, with the studio version. Apologies to Alex Lifeson. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found that helpful. If you enjoyed this video, if you did find it helpful, please hit that like button, as that would be awfully nice. Drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be awfully nice as well. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, wherever that may find you, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.